Time for this week's top stock picks, and we start out with Brian. You've got an interesting one. It's not really a leisure stock or a travel stock, but it kind of deals with that information.
Right. It touches, in both areas here. TripAdvisor, TRIP is the company. What it is kind of like the Yelp for online travel. So when you go to a hotel or if you take a flight or a vacation, you want to give a review and tell everyone, exactly what you thought of it. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it not? And before you go on your trip, you can also read other people's reviews. So obviously the idea of user-generated online content isn't really new. We've got Yelp out there doing pretty much the same thing for restaurants, for things like that. But in the travel space, it's kind of interesting because you have a number of companies in there trying to go after the same dollar. You've got Expedia, Priceline, Orbitz, all fighting for that booking. But here is a service that kind of, will get someone to the point of where they're going to go and know what they're going to be doing when they go there. But, is that traffic important enough for those players?
Yeah.
We saw Priceline buy Kayak, which was a service that pretty much just regurgitated those services so that you have them all at one click. Is the user-generated content going to be enough to drive the traffic that is meaningful enough to those companies to where they're going to want to pay more for it? And I think that's the question going forward with them. If we look at the other big factor in the online travel market is Google's acquisition of ITA a few years ago is now just starting to get implemented into the search results. So if you're doing a search, you can and you say Chicago to New York, you're going to see the flights presented at the very top of a search page, whereas before that really wasn't the case.
Okay. Todd, you have a bank.
Yeah, a PNC Financial Services Group. They're kind of a super regional bank. They have over $300 billion in assets, over 2,900 branches in 19 states. They also have a huge commercial banking focus, and that's really been a good driver for them, not only in terms of loan growth, but in net interest margin, because as you probably know, mortgage rates are super low right now. Well, commercial loans tend to have a higher interest rate. Of course, a little more risk too, but the bank has 3.85% net interest margin, one of the widest in the industries. They just came off their fourth consecutive positive earnings surprise. They reported a huge beat on January 17th. Again, they saw stable net interest margins, they saw solid loan growth, and they saw credit quality improve as well. So very quality regional bank, and also you're getting good income with this. They pay a dividend that yields 2.6%. You're getting all that at a very reasonable price. They traded just 0.8 times book value, about 1.1 times tangible book value. So very attractively priced here. Could be a lot of upside over the next several months, maybe all throughout 2013.
Okay, Shiraz, you have a chemical company.
That's right, Specialty Chemicals, Valspar. It's a play on the housing recovering story. I have been a big fan of the housing story and looking for stocks where one could play that. The direct housing home builder stocks have really gone up. These paint makers have gone up as well, but Valspar hasn't gone up as much as Sherwin-Williams, PPG Industries, or some of the others. Part of that is that about 45% of its revenue comes from abroad. Very well positioned in China, Australia, Latin America. They have a new partnership in the UK. So if the outlook for China and the rest of the emerging markets keep stabilizing as recent data shows, then you will be a lot better positioned with Valspar than with some of the other players. A very solid balance sheet, strong cash flows, pays a good dividend too. Not as juicy as PNC Financial, but definitely some income. So housing recovery, international exposure, dividend, what's not to like in that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that too.
Oh,
Thank you all for that. Don't forget you can check out other interesting articles by these folks and other of our Zacks strategists and analysts. Just go to Zacks.com if you're not there already watching this video. With everyone here, I'm Terry Ruffalo.